When I first started farming organically, I did a lot of research, and I found some professors who had written papers that influenced me profoundly. And one quote came out that really jumped at me, and it was, "Cultural practices form the basis of all weed control. The various other means should be regarded as auxiliary only." And that really stumped me, because up until then I was used to, whenever you have a problem, you react to it. You find a way to, you find a pesticide, you find some method of getting rid of the problem. Where this turned it around and saying, let's ask what caused this problem. And then from what caused it, we can derive a holistic plan for what are we going to do about it. I'm going to give a quick example. The weed that bothered us the most when we converted was velvet leaf. And it seemed unstoppable. Within about 6 years of converting our farm, changing our rotation, changing the inputs, velvet leaf started getting smaller and smaller every year. And we started seeing disease on it. It was infested with a fungus, a virus, and it was attacked by insects. And yet the crop wasn't being affected. And we brought in our friends from Cornell, and they said, this is really odd, because these diseases are not affecting velvet leaf on your neighbor's farm. What was happening was we were changing the system, we were changing the environment. And because the environment was no longer favorable for that species, that species started succumbing to diseases, succumbing to problems. The bigger concept of this is, if we can create an environment where our crop is the most favored species, then we're going to increase our yields and reduce our problems. And we discovered that everything that grows in the ground changes that soil, changes the environment, which makes it the best environment for something else. And this is the basis of rotation. But for us, it's also the basis of managing the whole farm. So we have tried to change the management of our farm based on what we learned, so that we're always making the crop that's going to be planted be the best adapted species for that environment that we have given it. And through doing that, we found that it's not as well adapted an environment for the pests. And soil health is all about this, because in a healthy soil is an arbitrary term. To us, healthy soil means that the crop we're trying to grow is doing well. Well, we can turn that around and saying that means that we've created the best environment for that crop, and that allows it to outcompete everything else that's with it. I'm going to digress with one other thing. Okay. That's the idea of a succession of species, which most people can understand. If we abandon a cornfield, next year we'll have broadleaf weeds, and they'll make millions and millions of seeds. But the second year after that, you won't see those species. You'll see grasses, you'll see other species. Even though the ground is covered with this other group, we've started a succession. They've changed the soil. The next year the soil is different. If we fast forward that 10 years, we're seeing woody plants, we're seeing brambles, sumacs, and if we went forward 500 years, we'd have a hardwood forest. So nature creates a succession. And if we create a succession in our farm, then we are going to be much more successful in both managing the crops and managing the pests.